So we're going to practice what's called the leg stretches. And the reason you do the leg stretches is to lengthen out your hamstrings. A lot of low back issues are related to tight hamstrings, and tight hamstrings can be from, sitting for prolonged periods of time during your work. It could be that combined with maybe you run or you have an athletic activity that tightens your hamstrings. And also just posturally how you stand. Maybe you put more weight on one foot or the other with the leg turned in or out. So the way we're going to do the leg stretches is you're going to need a blanket fold, pillow fold for your head, one for your hip, and you're going to need a belt or a TheraBand. I've added the blanket to help instruct and teach what I want you to think about to do the leg stretches here today. So first, when I lie down, I want to keep this blanket fold close to the bottom edge of my buttocks with my knees bent. Lying down, then find my pillow. And then I'm going to take hold of the mat with my hands and tug the mat down and away from the body so that my low back elongates. And what that does is it creates a neutral pelvis so that the hip can move freely. And then when we work with the neutral pelvis, the hamstring itself can begin to elongate. And when I have this lying down position with the pelvis neutral, I'm going to pull the blanket fold up, and I'm just going to touch the buttocks so it creates a line to tell me if my pelvis is even. So one hip either tipped up or down, I'll know the difference by this little bit of touch. When you're stretching out your hamstrings, the word stretch to me has become a little bit overused, because think of this as a muscle. And if you were to take the muscle, for example, and I'm going to call this a stretch for 1 minute, and then I release it, the muscle goes back to the initial length. However, if I take the movement and I elongate and I hold and sustain this for up to 3 minutes, the length of this band will stay long. So what we're doing is elongating a muscle. Now, think of your muscles working in pairs. If I pull, for example, one muscle more in one direction and not the other with an equal opposite movement, then what you're doing is you're actually adding tension to one area and a instability to the other. So here's an example of what I'm trying to explain with elongation. Often you'll see people go to the gym, they bend the knee, they use their hands, they bend their knee, they straighten out the leg, and they tighten right up and go, my hamstrings are so tight. And they are correct, because what they're doing is putting tension into the muscle. And so to release that type of tension, we have to work a little differently. So the most important principle is to have the core engaged and to work with what's called belly breathing. So if I take an inhalation to the belly, lift the navel higher, exhale, just relax the navel towards the spine. There's a little bit of a sense that the navel just touched the front of my spine. And right here at the back of my hips, I press a little. And that frees up the hip to bend and fold with the core stable. Then when I take the TheraBand and I place it to the center of the foot, I begin to raise the leg up. Now right about here, I'm going to think about, did my two hips stay even or did it change? And in most cases it does, which means already I'm gripping and holding and not maintaining my core. So instead of bringing my knee closer to the body, I'm going to move the knee away from the body, and I'm going to bring the bottom of my bottom to touch the blanket and raise the leg up. Now I have what's called evenness to the leg, or the front and the back of the leg. So my core is engaged. I can breathe to the belly. My hip can mobilize, and from there, instead of trying to pull the leg closer, think lengthen to the spine, and that helps to descend and release the other leg down. Now what I've created is the opportunity for the leg, if you will, to become more relaxed, freed up of tension. And then just to help you understand what I've done, I'm going to bend my knee for a moment. I'm going to fold the leg into my chest. I'm going to bring the other leg in and look at the difference. So I have used my core to mobilize my hip, which now folds more, and you can see the other leg is not. And if you look at the quality here of the pelvis staying even, if I lift my two legs up, you can see the difference that the right leg, in essence, is now not only lifting higher and longer, the backs of the knees are now more free and open. So leg stretches also protect not just your back, but your knees also. Okay, that's a good start.